Hello, welcome everybody. This is Pastor Mike with Refiner's Fire Podcast. Normally, I'm here with my good buddies and brothers in Christ, Bruce or Roger or Randy or someone to hit some of our topics and discussions. But tonight, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to help you with things concerning your podcast that really I struggled with. Technology, when you don't know anything about it and you don't know how to do a studio and you don't know what equipment you need, that all gets complicated. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm going to talk to you about pros and cons, losses, wins, and things we did right, things I think we should have done differently. Before we get into it, though, I want to make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please be a part of us and be our Facebook friends. Follow us and share us with your friends, church members, etc. We're just down home, down earth people doing the best we can to serve the Lord. And so, without further ado, let's get into the podcast and how we did our studio and see if it'll help you with yours. We hope it will. When we first started the work, the room that we're in right now was a room that we had set apart for our kids. It had a pool table in here, and you'll see pictures of that on the screen. We had a pool table in here. We had a ping pong table in here, and this was part of our youth center here at Smith Avenue Church of God. And but I felt like the Lord wanted us to go into podcasting and to share the gospel as many ways as we can. And so we started the podcast with this room that looked so terrible. The walls were undone. The floors were concrete. There was disarray and disorder in the whole thing, as you will see on your screen. And so what we started out doing is, do we want to hang drop ceiling in here for acoustic purposes? I don't know much about acoustics, but I knew we were supposed to have acoustics, good acoustics for recording and stuff. But we decided, instead of hanging and going through all that work and expense, we decided to paint the ceilings black. One thing I learned about that as I was doing some of the painting of the ceiling is you really do need to wear a mask. I don't care how hot it is or anything else. I was coughing black stuff up forever. And so you definitely want to. Now, restaurants are doing black ceilings, and I just really like the look and the feel that it gives you, because when it's a black canvas above us, then we can do the sides and the floor any way we want to. Bearing in mind that you usually don't see the ceiling, though you may see ours occasionally because we have low ceilings. You rarely ever see the floor, and so that all played into it. And so when we started building this room, as I said, this room was pretty naked. So as you're planning your studio and what you're going to do for your podcast, you need to, number one, in my opinion, you need to plan out what is it that you want. What theme are you going with? Are you going with flowers? Are you going with Western? Are you going with cabin, as we have? Are you going with ghetto, say bricks or spray painted bricks? Are you going with something eloquent, maybe columns or something like that? So we decided pretty early on we were going to use the theme of being in a cabin. In fact, our first name that we kind of was entertaining to go with for our podcast wasn't Refiner's Fire. It was Victory Cabin Podcast. And it just didn't ring good with me and us. And my grandson, Travi, actually named our podcast in about 5 minutes when I asked him what did he think we should name it. And he said, how about Refiner's Fire? And I loved it. And that's what we went with. So on the screen, you're going to see two different backgrounds. I put them up in our sanctuary at our church to kind of look at them. One was a brick background, and one was this log cabin background. Now, I want you to look at this background behind me right now. It looks as authentic and as real of any cabin you've ever seen. It's 3D, but what you don't realize is it's just material. It's just material. It is a photo background. And so we were looking on Amazon. If you want to see how to affordably do your set with the least amount of money, this thing behind me is just, it's like a sheet, but you can't tell it on camera. It looks beautiful. And so that was the theme that we decided to go with, was a rustic kind of a cabin. And we bought that 20 by 10 is all we needed, because our room is about 17 and a half foot wide, and 10 foot was plenty tall enough. And so we bought a 20 by 10 rustic background. And from that, we went to try to figure out how to do the decor and strategize how we wanted it to look from there. So again, for you, number one, figure out what theme you want to go with. You can go with the old rugged cross. You can go with the ocean. You can go with a number of whatever you feel like. Then bear in mind, if you watch some YouTube videos, you might also decide that you want to do a virtual green screen or a blue screen background. I entertained that for a little bit, but I just like this background so well that we decided to go with it. And for $216, you couldn't build this wall to look this beautiful anywhere near $216. And so look at photography backgrounds on Amazon or any other place, but I bought this on Amazon. I really like the bricks too, so I was really torn, but the bricks wouldn't serve our country feel. So as we started going through this, we had to put up walls, we had to hang sheetrock, and the hard part was my job, of course. It wasn't all the physical labor that my good buddies did, right? It had to be me. I had to go online and shop, and I shopped to try to find out what would be the best of everything. I shopped for decorations, pictures, the logo behind me on the TV, Refiner's Fire. A fella in our church, a young man, 17 at the time, computer guru. He got on there. I told him what I wanted, and he put it together in no time. And so that's now our background when we're doing podcasts, and I think it adds a lot to our set, and I love it. Now, some of the pictures you're seeing as I talk is my buddies, Roger, Perry, Kenny Worley, Kenny Wells, my sound guy. All of us just kind of dove into it, Brother Randy Burns. We all just kind of dove into it and did what we could do. And it was a process. It was a lengthy process. We had to run some electrical wires. We had to put lights up as we have in here. And then we put in a coffee bar, because you can't have a podcast without a coffee bar. Now, I found out as we went that we have roughly between $100 in this little studio room with all the equipment, with all the decor, with all the strategy and planning that we did. Now, having said that, you don't need dollars to do your podcast. You literally can do a podcast with a webcam and a computer, and you can sit down and just, you don't have to have all the fancy, like you really don't have to have all that. We wanted something that would represent our church and the God we serve with some degree of professionalism. And so we went a little bit crazy on it. And God met the needs financially. We were able to pay cash. There was some people who donated a considerable amount of money towards the project, and we're thankful for them. But really, literally, you can do a podcast in your bedroom or at a desk, at your kitchen table. You just need a webcam and a computer. So another thing that you can do to have an inexpensive background for your podcast is to take, for example, we have 4 sets that we took out of one room here at our church. This is our youth center. And we found that we have 4 easy studio backgrounds in here. Just as an example, this one here is called the Cafe Studio background. So here you can see you could have coffee, you could sit around talking, and we just use it. It wasn't created as a background, but it's actually created as our youth cafe here at Smith Avenue. The second one you can see is this one. We just call it the Fireplace Studio. It's got a TV where someone could access their laptop through there to show PowerPoint or scriptures or whatever. And that's just an area there where our kids in our youth group would hang out. And it's ultimately going to be set up with a Wii game or some type of a game system. But it wasn't created for a studio. But look how easy you can take something and create it into a studio background. We thought originally we were going to use these backgrounds to rent the studio out in time, and our technician Kenny Wells was going to help people do podcasting. And we're not saying we still wouldn't do that, but we were entertaining the idea when we took these pictures. After the fireplace, this one here where Brother Bruce is standing there on the platform with the cross behind him, another TV there. So a person could do a lecture style behind the blue pulpit. And that one is just called the Cross Studio because it has a lighted cross behind it. And of course, then you have the TV again. A TV is kind of important for a studio in some regards because you can use it for scriptures or whatever, but you don't have to have this. I'm trying to show you now what it is, how easy it is to take what maybe something you've already got. If you have your dining room table and chairs, I'm trying to show you how to utilize what you have into a workable studio. And this last one, we call it the Sports Desk Studio, and it's just basically a little countertop that Brother Roger built that for our youth center for the cafe. It's got the basketball lighting, and it's really just, it was created to serve popcorn and drinks off of for our kids cafe. But we started looking and saying, you know what, that could make a really cool podcast set. And so my point is with this is that you can utilize whatever you have. Maybe you have a fireplace in your house or your church, or maybe you could use your platform at your church as a studio background. So you can buy one off of Amazon, as I've shown you here, or you can also just use something that you already have. I want to talk to you a little bit about, though, some of the things we bought and how we chose our technical equipment, because the technical equipment is very, very important to know how far you want to go in financially, basically. Now, where my buddy is sitting over here at the table, which you can't see, Kenny Wells is our sound guy, and he's our technician, and he's the brains behind the whole thing. And where he's sitting for our control table, which we'll show you pictures of that, the control table is just a folding table. It's a folding table, like you'd have in a church fellowship hall or a schoolroom. It's just the legs pop out and boom, there it is. And then we bought a nice skirting for that, and the skirting that we bought, it makes the old table look really good. And we got that nice skirting for only $16.98. It's now $17.98 because prices are going up sky high. And so that made us our little control center. Now, would I like to have one of them great, big, fancy, elaborate studio desk with all of our equipment? Sure, but no need in it. We got a little table out of the fellowship hall, brought it down here, popped the legs out, put a nice table skirt on it, and voila, it's fine. Now, having said that, I really struggled to see how do I want to record. Well, we decided to use a Rodecaster Pro 2. It does a little bit of everything. You got sound effects, right, Kenny? got sound effects. You've got the pads there where you can put applause or laughter or any other sound effect by just pushing one of those pads there. And I think you can put more than one sound effect per pad there. It gives you a great sound, as you can see by this. And so the original Rodecaster Pro that we bought, lightning struck it, and with the insurance money, we upgraded to a Rodecaster Pro 2, and so far, I don't regret that move at all. We bought it on Amazon for $612.50, and that was the business prime Amazon rate. We needed a computer, and so there are specific specs that you have to have for the StreamYard. Now, StreamYard is the system that we use that actually records everything. It's a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little bit expensive. I think too expensive, but that's me. We have the deluxe plan. I think it's about $100 a month for that, but it gives us automatic high def. Is it 4K? I don't think it's even 1080p. I think it's 4K. Isn't it right, Kenny? It gives us 4K recording, upgrades everything to a 4K. It looks great in our church, and so it looks good down here in the podcast room, in the studio. But you have to have a computer that has certain criteria in order to stream with that StreamYard and be able to maintain the speeds that it needs. And I can't tell you all of those because I didn't take time to get them, but I can tell you the computer we bought was i7 4-core Dell Optiplex 7050 SSF desktop computer, 1 terabyte, and it had Windows 10 Pro installed. It was a renewed computer on Amazon, and it worked beautifully until lightning struck it too, and took out basically our whole studio for quite a while. But it was only used for $229, and that's now dropped today. Today is, what's the date? Today is May the 8th, 2025, and today the price went from $229.99 to $212.35. So some things is going actually down instead of up. One of our monitors for the computer we bought from Teen Challenge for $10, and we use it still in the studio here. You don't have to buy everything new. Go shopping at Teen Challenge. Goodwill stores are always affordable, and they have really awesome deals. We bought several things there. We bought a fan that cools our camera switcher, and some other things we bought there. The sound panels that are in the room, we bought them, and I think we got a good deal on Amazon. 60, they're 1 foot square sound panels. They're a little tricky to hang because they kept wanting to fall off the walls. So we ended up buying some adhesive spray, and that did the trick. So that may be something you would consider. And so we bought 60 of them. It's a 60 pack, and it only costs $49.99, and that's pretty good for that many sound panels. And those are now from $49 down to $43.99. We bought these lights. They're on the side of me on both sides of the room, and we use those. They have different colors. They have different settings. You can do lightning. You can do different colors and whatnot. It does all kinds of things. And I really like the lights myself, and they would work perfectly in a in-home studio at home. We did spend some pretty tall bucks on it, $249, but it comes with a set of 2 of them, and I've never regretted buying those. And so that may be something that you can look at, because I feel like we overdid it on lighting. I don't know that we really needed all the lighting we have, though I don't know that we didn't. I know that lighting is a very touchy, sensitive thing. By watching YouTube videos, there are tons of YouTube videos that tell you this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to turn them and everything. And we don't, we're still learning that. So we spent a lot of money on lighting, and I just don't know if we really needed all the lighting that we bought. We also bought these umbrella type. The brand is Neewer, Neewer, and they're 26 inches is what we bought to go on the other Neewer lights, the actual lights. It just snaps right onto them. We spent $65.82 each, and they're really good for photography. I know that they are. I just don't know why that I know that. I'm learning still. This is a good purchase, I believe. They're for sale today now. The price has actually went down about $5 a piece on them. So not everything's gone up in price. Now, let's talk about our OC Go Stream camera switcher. I really think this is something very, very important. We had another camera switcher before the Lightning that was just a joke. Do you remember what it was called, Kenny? Live Pro. I do not recommend a Live Pro camera switcher. I just don't. We had nothing but trouble out of it. Couldn't figure out how to do the update. Nobody could help us. It was just a nightmare. I don't recommend the Live Pro camera switcher. So we switched over to this OC Go Stream, and it cost $295. But let's get a Kenny Wells review.
I love it. It's easy to update, too.
He loves it, and it's easy to update. So we made the man, Kenny, happy. If he's happy, I'm happy. And it does more than the other one did for us, and it's easier to operate. And so I really think we give it a high score as far as the GoStream camera switcher. Really, for $295, that's not that high, really. And it's still today $295, same price. I want to talk to you a little bit, too, about the kind of cameras that we are using, because I really spent time researching the cameras, because cameras can range from a reasonable price all the way out the ceiling. And you have no idea. If you don't know photography, you don't even know what you're looking for. So I really leaned heavily on people who knew more about it than me on YouTube, and tried to figure out, what is affordable that we could put in the studio without going broke. And what we decided to go with was these Sony Alpha A6400s. And I found out by some of my other podcasting friends that I've met that they like the same thing. It's an older camera. It's not the most current, the most recent, up-to-date cameras, but it does a nice job. It does the HD. It's a beautiful, little, easy-to-compact camera. And a lot of the YouTubers and a lot of the podcasters, they really give high grades on this camera. And in fact, if you Google the top 10 best podcasting or YouTubing cameras, you're going to find this camera. And so we bought 3 of them. That's a little costly, I know, but I wanted to have different camera angles so that Kenny Wells can play with his camera switcher and put me from one screen to the next. And so we just move around that way. Now, how much do these cameras cost? Well, cameras are expensive anywhere you look at them, but we bought 3. We bought one that was just a camera only, and it was $718. And you say, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it's going to be an investment that's going to last you hopefully for years to come. That price went from $718. Today it was $738 for the same camera. And that's just a camera only. There's no lenses, there's no bells, no whistles. That's just a camera. But we bought it just as a camera because we didn't figure we would need it for anything other than that, because we bought 2 bundles. I want to show you this first bundle. This first bundle is a 39-piece bundle. So it comes with lenses, 3 or 4 lenses. It comes with battery packs. It comes with a camera bag. It comes with lights and memory cards and on and on and on. And so we went ahead, since the camera was $700 and something, and we get this 39-piece bundle, we went in and spent the $1,184 to get it. But bear in mind, now I don't have to worry about lenses for the camera that I bought just as a camera only, because we have leftovers from these other 2 bundles that we can use when we need them. So that's how we did it. Bad news. I need a sound effect right there. The bad news is this particular bundle that you're looking at on your screen is no longer available. It's I don't know why, but it's no longer available. We bought it. I think we got a great purchase there. I don't regret buying it, and it's been a blessing. But maybe you can find a bundle that's close to it. There's other bundles for these A6400 Sony cameras. The other bundle that we bought, I'm putting on the screen for you, is a Sony Alpha A6400 camera again. But this bundle doesn't have the full 39 pieces, but it does come, if you look at it here, not only does it come with battery packs and memory cards, but it even comes with lenses and light effects and software. It comes with software. Now, I haven't looked at the software yet, but I'm going to, because we pay, I don't remember. I think it's $40 a month for our editing software. And it's a pain in the neck. It's great software, but it's a pain in the neck because it's a Japanese company. And every time I go to pay them, it sets off fraud alerts at my bank or my credit card company, and they don't want to pay it. And it makes it very hard. I have to go through the bank to get approved every time to make a payment because it's in Japan. And so, but if I can find this software, it may work for me just as well or better, and I can get rid of that payment every month. By the way, I know there's other free programs on the internet. I think one of them's called, is it OCC or something? Do you know, Kenny?
Right on.
One of them is OBS. Everybody rants and raves over it. It's a free editing software. But I just wasn't feeling it. And I'd rather spend money for quality, real quality with that, and something that's more user-friendly, because as I've said, we're new at this. We're not seasoned at this. So I want to look at these software packages that came with this. I never have, and I'm going to have to do that. As far as microphones go, the mic that I'm using here is a Shure, and I don't actually remember the model number. This is my microphone. And it sounds great, I think. Maybe you'll comment down below and let me know what you think. I wish I could remember.
Sure 7.
It's a Shure 7?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the master, Kenny, says he thinks it's a Shure 7, so it could be. But I've got raving reviews online about the Rodecaster microphones. Now, remember, we're using a Rodecaster Pro as a recording source, and it gives you a professional radio voice, sounding professional, and I love it. You can add effects to it. And so with the Rodecaster Pro, these microphones I thought was a good deal. And man, when I was out on YouTube, everybody recommended these things. They said for the price, they're the best anywhere. And the price hasn't changed. The same when we got it a year ago, and they're the same now. They're Rode PodMics, broadcasting grade dynamic microphone for podcasting. You get a 2-pack for $198. So basically $100 a mic. And we bought, I believe, 4 of them. 3 or 4. I think 4. I think we bought 2 packs. And they're $198 for a 2-pack. But you can't hardly beat the sound of them, other than my Shure microphone that I love dearly. Then we bought these mic stands so that we could be hands-free and kind of, have our Bible, our books, our notepads, whatever we're using. We had to have room for it. So I bought these little microphone stands that you're seeing on your screen. I seen some comments on them where people say, oh, they turn over too easy and blah, 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 blah. They don't. They're very heavy. They're very good mic stands, and they have served us very well. They're $39.99 when I bought it each, $39.99 each. They've gone up now to $50 a piece, but you do what you want to do there. I liked them. I thought they served us well and are serving us. Your voice sound good. That's going to complement your podcast. Then you just have nothing but a beautiful room. That's all you've accomplished is a beautiful room. And as I said, though, you can do a simple podcast with just a webcam and a computer. But if you're going all in and you want something that's really going to be outstanding, then I would just suggest that you consider different options for the equipment that you're going to be recording with. We sometimes have music in our room, in our podcast, and we want the sound to sound good. We don't want to bring someone in here and they wrote a song and they're singing this song and it sounds terrible. And so with our podcast being multifaceted, we do music, we do preaching, teaching, lots of teaching. We do debatable conversations that are controversial. We don't shun them. And there's just a little bit of everything on our podcast. So we do want you to check us out for a while and see if there's anything you like about us. We hope there is. And but we want to take you, I think next time I meet with you, I'm going to try to do a part 2 on this, and I'm going to have Kenny explain some things to me so I can pass it on to you. But right now where he's sitting, and I think you can see it on your screen, he's got his control center right there. He's watching the cameras. He's changing the cameras, switching them out. He is watching the dial on the record. He's making sure that everything is going as it should. And we really appreciate Kenny doing it. I loved to decorate because I wanted light effects, but I didn't want them to be cheesy. And so we bought these lights right here in front of me. They've got the deer on them and a bear, and we really like them. And they flicker inside. They flicker, but they're just battery operated. So as long as you keep the battery going, and they've been working hard for us for a while now. I really love those for this particular setting, for this cabin rustic feel. And they cost about $23.39 for all 3 of them on Amazon. Well, this is really a neat thing. I would love to have this for myself. Of course, we bought it for the church, but this table on my side over on this side, it actually looks like a little table, but it's actually a rustic table slash chest. It's actually a chest. There's storage inside of it. And man, it's just a beautiful little rustic chest. It's made out of like metal on the outside and rustic. We put the rustic legs on it. Brother Roger from our church, he cut these tree limbs at the bottom, and he put legs on it to make it sit a little higher and just look like it wasn't a chest. more like a table. It's now went from $200 to $270.38. I checked these prices just today, and they went up. And you can see there where the chest lid opens up. But we use it as a table. But then what to put on the table? So we bought this deer lamp on this side, and they are a nice option. You get a set of two of them for $100, $98. And so we wanted to keep on going with that. And then I love these beautiful lights right above me. They don't even sell them at Amazon anymore, but they're rustic. They're made out of metal. And the guy who opened them from our church, Brother Darrell, he looked at it and he said, "Man," he said, "this is awesome." He said, "These things even come with their own rust. They look authentic, something that'd be in a Beverly Hillbillies cabin." I mean, I just absolutely love them. If you ever see where they come back on the market, I will give you this warning: the little off-on switch, they don't last on these lights, so we had to direct wire them to be able to use them like we use them now. But I prefer that anyway. And if you ever see these on Amazon again, right now they're not there. They're 14-inch diameter, and it costs $66.49, so about $35 for each one of them. But it adds a nice flavor to our rustic cabin look that we're looking for. The two lanterns with the flames flickering on my left and my right, those are still at Amazon, 2-pack of them for $31.19. Not bad. It's a nice way to add a little light to your set and not have to spend a lot of money. Well, I'm not going to hold you much longer, but I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you'll share it. I hope you'll like it. I hope you'll tell your friends, your family, your pastors, your church folk about this podcast, and be a part of it with us. You know, we challenge you to send us your comments, your questions, your likes, your dislikes. We're thick-skinned. We can handle it. I've already had some kind of ugly comments, but I've had some beautiful comments. And so we covet your comments and everything. So look us up. I hope this podcast has helped you in some way. Look for the part 2 where we start diving into the technical side of podcasting a little deeper than what we did tonight. So thank you for tuning in. God bless you all. See you next time.